too.
I did this intro goddamn 6 years since people later.
Hey,
Yo, 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 welcome everybody. It's the Joint Roller Ayatollah here. End of the year podcast with my homeboy CTT. What's happening?
what's up? What's up? What's up? We are the Underground of Professional Wrestling Podcast. If you don't know, where you been? But we're here to bring to you the year that was in professional wrestling. So thank you all for joining us. If you're here with us now on the Facebook, the YouTube, the X, we're RW Podcast
I'm gonna
124
name him Twitter. I'm gonna name him Twitter.
Twitter. Okay, let's talk about it. Give him his mom name, Twitter. So Twitter, yeah. We're RW Podcast One on Twitter and everywhere else is Real Wrestling. Just look us up. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on all that good shit. We're on YouTube, Instagram. So just highlight us. But yeah, we're here to talk about the year that was professional wrestling and just break down what we love, what we didn't like, what we see going forward into the new year for wrestling, and for ourselves, what you can expect from Reasonable Wrestling Podcast going forward. This, if you guys were here with us a couple weeks ago, I announced that today would be my last show. I'm proud to announce that today won't be my last show, but it will be my second to last show. As my last show will be on January 6th after Raw on Netflix. I should just give that the review of the new era of Raw and what my takes are on that before I just disappear. Before I disappear. And to be quite honest, how I look at it is me and Chris both are growing. We came into this pod game with a lot of things to address in the wrestling industry. And as we evolved, the wrestling industry also evolved, and we
Absolutely.
see our lives changing. We see the industry's changing, and we saw the podcast landscape change right before our eyes. We've seen the content game change right before our eyes. We didn't know how many creators were out there when we first started. All I saw was Wrestle Talk. Now we have a ton of different outlets to go to. A lot of Black creators have popped up. Shout out to our guys, Black Guy Wrestling Podcast. There was the A Show. There's so many guys we got to give. I know that Chris knows the names. He can list them off way better than me because he's on Twitter often. But I just want to shout out just how much passion there has been in this community, and thank you guys for letting us be a part of the community and talking to us and chatting about wrestling for 6 years. Doing this thing. So I just gotta just be proud of where things have come, because now there's wherever you go you can get a commentary, whether it's a new person who just started wrestling this year. The guy started a YouTube channel and now he's covering wrestling, or if it's somebody who's been watching it since, or even was in the business like Jim Cornette or Eric Bischoff. They got their own content. You got Black creators, you got white creators, you got all types of in between creators who are now woman creators who are creating a lane for themselves, creating content in this space to continually give their perspective on professional wrestling. I think that's a beautiful thing, And so as that happens, I feel like, my opinion is not as needed. It's not needed at least every single week. It's not needed to be a consistent force in this space. And as I continue to pivot into other ventures, business wise and career wise, it's something that might need to take a backseat to other things I got moving on. So it's not that I don't love wrestling or I don't love potting. I love this stuff, and I truly, truly am going to miss being here and building Regional Wrestling Podcast week after week and throwing up clips and just laughing with my brother about everything under the sun when it comes to wrestling. But we all grow and we all have our moments to um, make a choice to where we're going to be moving forward in life and what we're trying to build. So I'm extremely excited to give to you guys our final episode of this year, our end of the year episode, where we're going to tell you guys our wrestlers of the year, male and female. We're going to break down our moments of the year, tag of the year, match of the year, feud of the year, all that good shit, man. All that good shit. So I'm just gonna wait for Chris to come back here. But in the meantime, what should I chat about? Let me chat about something that's let's talk about AEW World. Actually, I can't talk about World now without Chris because he watched it. I did it. But what I can talk about is on Friday, Cody Rhodes came back and he challenged Kevin Owens to a ladder match at Royal Rumble for the WWE World Championship. Um, I, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's kind of weird to have a ladder match. I think that's not the right stipulation for these guys. But if one thing you can kind of bet on every year, like if I could bet on Kevin Owens having a Royal Rumble championship match, I would bet on that every single year. He's like that stopgap guy who constantly gets to Royal Rumble match and gets beat in the road to WrestleMania by the incumbent champion. So, as much as the match is going to be great, I gotta hand it to Kevin Owens because right now he's been on fire. He's been doing great work. A lot of people think that he should be champion. A lot of people love this storyline, not because Cody's been so great in it, but because Kevin has been so great in it. So I don't know where they're going with Kevin Owens as far as where he's going to be at WrestleMania time. But as far as this past year, um, he's that utility player that always hits. Like him and Sami Zayn, as much as they are kind of like the upper mid Carter, and they don't ever get they don't get the spot. They're such vital pieces to their respective brands. And Kevin Owens, Royal Rumble, probably will take a loss, but at the end of the day, he's gonna put all his body on the line, and he's probably gonna do some crazy and have a fantastic match. So, look forward to seeing that, and potentially, I'm not gonna promise this, but me and Chris could be back for a pod once in a blue, which maybe will happen right after Royal Rumble. We'll be back here to talk about Royal Rumble, but for sure WrestleMania. So I'm trying to be down there in Vegas for WrestleMania. So we should definitely be doing a pod around that time, but it won't be every single week. It's going to be intermittent from now on going forward. Um, but yeah, when it comes to Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, I'm enjoying the storyline. I just feel like there's a better stipulation they could have had, and I do feel like Kevin Owens constantly getting the Royal Rumble, um, treatment to lose to the incumbent champion is getting a little bit played. You know what I mean? And he every year was him losing the Royal Rumble, losing to Roman Reigns in the Royal Rumble. I think last year was the first year that didn't happen in like about 4 years. So I, I would like Kevin Owens to win a championship sometime this year because I think he's been phenomenal. Another guy who has been phenomenal that I think I would like to see on top is Drew McIntyre, man. Drew McIntyre, talk about 2024, man. Talk about having a great year. When I think about what it means to matter on a wrestling show without having a championship, Drew McIntyre is the epitome of that. Every time you think that okay, he's forgotten about, he comes back and makes himself felt on the microphone, makes his presence being known physically, and he's always a major piece. And over the past couple of weeks, his motivations are just as clear as they were at the beginning of the year. He's still holding on that bitterness from losing in his hometown or his home in his in his country to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and being screwed at the championship. He's still holding on to that, and everything he's done with Solo is literally exactly what me and Chris were talking about a couple of weeks ago when it came to um, could he interfere? We were talking about could Drew McIntyre interfere in the match for the the Ulafala. And I was like, if he's gonna interfere, he probably could interfere to help Solo. And Chris was like, why would he do that? Because Solo's the reason why he wasn't champion. But I said, hey man, sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend temporarily. And sure enough, they had that conversation out. They had that talk. And there is a temporary truce currently with Drew McIntyre and Solo. That's the kind of storyline writing that and and long term writing that I appreciate in my professional wrestling. I appreciate them paying attention to the true emotions behind it and not forgetting that hey, Solo and him have history, and there is a lot to um build upon that with Drew. So I know I've been just rambling lately because I'm just waiting for my guy to come back. But yeah, man, I'm not sure if you heard me. I'm not sure if you have anything to say, but uh, what's
Well, I won't say that you was rambling. It was is honestly, I would say, apropos that you had the stage uh by yourself, because as we stated, this probably won't be something that gets done a lot unless we're together. Right now, me and you have our conversations. We haven't had them often, but as far as you just getting on the camera, cutting it on, being able to let that shit rip, it's not going to be something that you do often. So I wanted you to get that one last feel. Also, the reason why that this pod isn't as continuous as it should be is because my goddamn family. Okay, kids need the pajamas, they need to eat. My wife walk around here good
You gotta do what you
attitude.
gotta do.
Nigga, we're like, nigga, when last time you saw me record? Huh? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Anyway, so, but I would say this to your point of Cody and Kevin Owens. Um, there has been slight, I won't say deficiencies in the storytelling. I won't say there's been inconsistencies in the storytelling. What I would have possibly liked is that because this January 6th card is stacked so much, I don't know how we wait another month with this.
Okay.
Which, when we talk about Roman and Solo, I would be able to bleed Roman and Solo for Royal Rumble, Ula Fala,
I
big
feel you.
blow off match, and have Kevin Owens. Because by Royal Rumble, there, and I get it, to be able to bleed this out, this is something we talked about last time we talked on the pod. There isn't really a real deal Holyfield moment for Cody to drop his title, lose his title. There's no competitors. We talked about this right after Survivor Series. They were fishing with AJ Styles and Paris, and they was fishing with Kevin Owens as a babyface. They was fishing with Solo Sikoa and at SummerSlam. Like, they have been fishing, and for that to be something that now elongates, um is we're saving for Randy Pop at
You
Royal
know,
Rumble. Like,
and,
is
and I and, and I know this is not gonna go over well. I'm gonna say it anyways. But I do think Braun Strowman should have a heel turn. And I think a Braun Strowman Cody feud could have been something. Because I would have said Bobby Lashley. Obviously, Bobby's in AEW now and everything. But I think the physical presence of a big guy being a heel trying to crush Cody Rhodes after this year he's had, it's missing. That overcoming the odds, Cody. You know what I mean? When we knew he was going to be injured, we knew Solo wasn't going to win the championship, and Roman was coming back. And Kevin Owens, we know he's not winning the championship either. So that's the thing. I can enjoy the storytelling. I can enjoy the storyline for what it is, and I just hope that the storyline is not for a waste. I think that they can build from this with Kevin and then transition to Randy or whatever coming on next. Maybe it's can't maybe it's KO and Randy at WrestleMania, but they just fought at WrestleMania last year too. With Logan Paul though. So this time maybe it's a one-on-one thing. But I I I just think there's better ways to use KO than to just throw him out there to lose a Royal Rumble again, and that's my concern because I think he's been very good, man. I do, and instead, I would have preferred to see a Braun Strowman, just destroy Cody and set him up for, a match Royal Rumble with Cody. And like you're saying, and this whole thing with KO at on Netflix, and then sets Cody up with something new going into February because we're almost February 1st. Like you said, it's a while, and they're gonna have to drag it out. You know?
Bro, and I feel like they dogging it right now. Like to keep it a buck.
A
You know
little,
what I'm
yeah, a
saying?
little bit,
Like
yeah.
I feel like right now they're drag because
Same promos, kind of. We get it.
and, and and how does nigga go from not being allowed in the building to now he in headquarters doing funny skits, putting the tape over the face and everything like that, walking around with the title. Like if that's the case, then I would more off I would probably I would probably have just Kevin Owens just chill out, cut vignettes from the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they don't want me here, so I'm gonna be like with the title, give his title to his kid, like all the shit that Cody do for
Yeah,
Liberty
you're
and
right.
everything like that. Like, I would just be up in the crib, bro. Like, and I'd be like, hey, pay time off. Like, I would do shit like that. Like, Kevin Owens looked like a regular guy. You have to do what regular guys do. I'm a regular nigga. If Kevin Owens is a badass, I'll beat a nigga ass. I scream and holler. But when a nigga push me to a point where like this is administrative leave, right? Like this is
It
paid
should
time.
be. Yeah,
It should be. It
yeah,
should be. And you got paid to come to work, put hands on the nigga that you had a problem with in the office, and still go back to the crib and get paid. Like so, me, I just would have took what he's doing. I would have kept it probably the same thing. He could have kept cutting the same promos. It's just the setting would have been different.
yeah. The
Him
settings
and
be different. I was saying a couple weeks ago, like the whole thing of him screaming with Michael Cole in the car, I wasn't feeling it. I think that it takes a little bit of the seriousness out of what he's trying to
exactly,
get across.
exactly.
I think that the seriousness of what Kevin Owens has is valid, but the way that he presents is like, hey, I'm just, you
Because
know,
realistically, he if Triple
petty and whining about it at this point. And I don't think we need a petty, whiny heel right now from him. I think we need a guy who's legit, like kind of like yeah, I know you said that he can't be Drew, but I'm like similar in the vein of Drew is never he's whining, but he has a purpose. And the way that KO should present it is like, all right,
I
you want
feel
me
you.
home.
I feel you on that. I'm not even going to sit here and argue with that. I the duality in what I would ask for is that they're both serious, right?
Yeah, that's
Both
what I'm trying to say.
both
Not the
both
same, but serious.
violent, exact, both violent, right? But Kevin Owens is also a jokester. So again, I would have beat Cody ass, took the took the wing eagle championship, got into my punching match, shoving match with Triple H, and then I would have cut a promo and was like, that's why Triple H told Randy not to fuck with me. That's why Nick Aldis told Cody not to fuck with me. And that's why I'm not there right now because I don't want to fuck nobody else up. I'm here for the holidays with my kids. Merry Christmas. And I would have cut the care of some shit. How
Merry
you doing?
Christmas from your WWE champion. And hold up
Exactly.
with the wing eagle. Yeah.
Simple. Simple. It's still doing the same thing, still getting the same point across, but
Uh-huh.
serious enough to be like,
And then if
this
he's
is
on,
why niggas was saying, don't fuck with this nigga. That's
yeah,
why.
and he can still go out there for dark matches. Don't have him on TV. Just bring him out there for the dark match after the show and like all that stuff.
But I
But I'm
was,
sure they have him
but
out
I
there
would
for
treat
some
him.
reason.
I would treat him like an attraction. I would treat him like a
Okay.
person who's on leave. I would. I would have said Cody's opportunity to get even with Kevin Owens was Saturday Night Main Event. He won the match. He lost the war. So with that being said, Cody, heal up. I will have Cody chomping at the bit to get back. I will have Cody just showing up with the championship
That was
in
lame.
a
Yeah.
suit
I
and
didn't like it.
I
I
didn't
thought he
like
was gonna
it
show
at
up
all.
on Netflix. I thought that was gonna be like the run in and attack. That would have been a perfect moment to like have like him return from injury.
Nigga,
He just walked up
wear his
as
fucking
if he
American
wasn't.
Nightmare sweatsuit with some sneakers, run down to the ring, double leg takeover, and boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
You come out, cut a
he.
fucking monologue to a nigga who just packed his power drive and took your title, nigga. That's why we don't fuck with Cody. That's the exact
there's
reason
there,
why we don't fuck with
no,
Cody.
there's a reason. I can see there's a bubbling group of people that just really don't fuck with him, and I can see why. I'm not going to argue. I can see why. I still am a fan. I just think the presentation has to be elevated certain times, and you gotta. If I'm going to call out AEW for bad debuts and bad, returns, then I gotta call you out too, WWE. Like Kevin Cody's walk out there, and granted he's champion and all that stuff, but he almost took his career away. So like, how are we gonna just let him just walk out there and cut a promo? Like that's ridiculous to me. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. I do think it's a good story. Don't get me wrong. I still think it's a good story. I just think there's some beats that they should have hit that were missing, and to stretch it out. Hopefully, they can get it back on track some way before the ladder match.
Well, but this
I
goes
don't. I
back.
just don't want to see a ladder every single week being used as a weapon. That's not enough for me.
Well, I mean, hey, brother, maybe this should probably they listen to everything else we do. Maybe this will be the weeks that Kevin Owens be like, you know what, I'm gonna rest my body up for the ladder match. Like maybe
Right.
this would be the weeks that he don't because what will be the purpose? The elevating of the story is already elevated, right? The apex, no pun intended, of the story is pretty much already here, right? So for for them, this will just be redundancy at the end of the day for them to
I
come
don't,
back
yeah,
in.
I hear you, but I would have to figure out. Come on, man, it's 4 weeks, dog. I gotta figure out some other big moment that's unexpected for the fans. I don't know what I can say right now, but in my writing brain mind, I would have to give the fans something on TV sometime between now and Royal Rumble that says, "Wow, I gotta see Royal Rumble now." Something that makes it feel a little bit more. I don't know, heightened
I
tension. I
mean,
don't
I,
know.
I mean, I with what this goes back to now. This the goalposts being moved on my end, and I guess we can start with kind of our superlatives of the show. The wrestler of the year for me is the needle mover for Royal Rumble. So I don't necessarily even need my world heavyweight champion to kind of be the focal point of that pay per view if I got Seth and CM Punk with the legitimate, I'm winning the Royal Rumble to main event WrestleMania. That storyline can usurp pretty much every and anything else, including Roman,
Okay.
including Cody, because to me, my male wrestler of the year from January to December has been CM Punk.
Woo! Did not expect that.
It has
Did
been.
not expect
Ah,
that one. I was thinking maybe Seth, but you said CM Punk. All right, you gotta explain that one.
well, so his year started off again. I am his year and my year started off the same. We was in Tampa. I was at the Royal Rumble, and
Mhm.
bro, you don't understand the angst of like, no, babe, I have to be in the place of where this might pop off. His return to WWE is gonna happen. I have to be there,
Yeah,
bro. He gets hurt in the match. I doubt that that's an audible. I'm pretty sure, knowing that what we know now, that was the call. CM Punk was supposed to lose, but he wasn't supposed to get hurt. We were supposed to
yeah.
have Seth and CM Punk. That was supposed to be the whole thing, whatever the case may be. He gets hurt. He carries a feud hurt. He helps Drew and Seth hurt. He helps elevate Damian hurt at Mania, right? And when he gets back, he's in my feud of the year. So let me just get that out the way. Seth and CM Punk is the feud of the year. I don't know if we can agree on that. I don't know if we have differences on that, but there has not been a feud better this year. And I know I might be, I don't think this is prisoner of the moment.
No.
Seth and Drew, they had a trilogy. They had 3 matches. What they fought over was crazy, a bracelet. But what they fought over was, again, what happened in the Rumble. January, it happened. Drew McIntyre did not like CM Punk coming back. They had their issue. He future shock DDTs him. And then Drew says, I prayed. I prayed for days like this. Yeah. I miss funerals.
It is that.
I miss birthdays. I miss weddings. But I prayed. I
Accent I've ever heard.
prayed for this.
Oh my god, man. Nah, I feel you, man. But like that leads me to like have to because me and you have the same feud of the year. So let's get it out the way. My feud of the year is also Drew McIntyre, CM Punk.
Okay.
To double down on that even further, my match of the year is Drew McIntyre, CM Punk in the Hell in a Cell match, bringing back the feeling that I had watching Hell in a Cell matches back in the day.
Okay.
That was amazing. But my male wrestler of the year is Drew McIntyre. If you're saying carrying a feud while hurt, he did the same thing. He also had an incredible match with Seth Rollins while Seth Rollins was having a feud, keeping the continuity of what he got going on with Seth Rollins while Seth Rollins is doing this big thing with The Rock and Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. He then wins it. Obviously, CM Punk steals his moment, crown Damian Priest. He has a really good match with Damian Priest later on in the year. He just been on another level on the microphone every single time. And I don't know how else to put it. The guy has just been on another level than pretty much everybody, man. Like he's just been riding this wave of finding himself and really taking it like this is the best Drew McIntyre I've ever seen his entire career. And the matches are hitting, the promos are hitting, and the character work is hitting, and the matches are like everything is on hot, hitting on all levels. And then when he comes back after the Hell in a Cell, what he's done with on the microphone with Solo, what he's done with just talking just truth and honesty about what he's gone through in his personal life and bringing that into the story. I think the vulnerability and the work rate he's had all year long, bleeding in that Hell in a Cell match the way he did, the matches, there's no CM Punk without the heel that could actually pose a threat that is Drew McIntyre. We wanted this whole big thing with Seth Rollins, but by the time we got Drew McIntyre, people were like, yo, do we even really want Seth Rollins and CM Punk as much as we used to? People were questioning it
Nah, see,
because Drew
that's
McIntyre was such.
crazy. You talking like that because that sound eerily similar to how when you ask, does people still want to see Roman and Rock when we had Roman and Cody, or you asking, do people want to see Roman and Solo when we have Roman and Jacob right there? We want it all as wrestling fans.
One of
Like,
them.
let's
We
get that
deserve it
fucking
all.
out. Let's get that out the way. Like, no. We want CM Punk and Drew, and we also want CM Punk and Seth. And
The
the
reason why I
reason
said it because it was Bully Ray. He literally was like, "Hey, he's asking David Rick, like, are you as interested in CM Punk and Seth as you were at the beginning of the year after we've seen this with Drew?" And Dave was honest. He's like, "No, not as much as I was before because it was such a good angle." But then now they got to heat it back up. Me, I personally want to see it too. Like
I
I'm
was,
enjoying.
yes, and I would say this. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I would say this. People probably don't want to see it because it has to live up to the expectations of something that happened on accident. And Jesus Christ, dude, like, do you hear what I just said? We have to live up to the expectations of something that happened on accident.
Organically, completely. Yeah, and
So you feel me? So
yeah, it's tough.
there is very seldom things that can reach something that organically has been planted, grown, and bears fruit. Right? You can't manufacture. But I will say this to the point of Wrestler of the Year. Seth Rollins, CM Punk being a tentacle of the resurgence of Drew McIntyre. And hey, Seth Rollins don't look so much like a fucking clown when he in the ring as CM Punk. We can take everything else that Seth Rollins has done previously, but when he invokes the name CM Punk, there's a seriousness, there's a snapness, there's a
Yeah,
sharpness, there's a fucking intensified personality that's present when we're speaking about when he did the Damian Priest, even when Steph was against Drew, he laughed in that bitch ass nigga face and said, "You'll never beat me, punk ass nigga," and fluffed this motherfucking for couples at that nigga and shit like that. He
yes.
didn't he didn't give nobody what he's given CM Punk. And Drew McIntyre, he chased, he chased, he chased. He could never get Seth. He finally got Seth at WrestleMania. Took his eye off the ball because he was so focused on a nigga that he had put out commission. That's my thing. A nigga got so much. What was CM Punk doing? He wasn't doing. What was CM Punk doing to Drew? He wasn't doing anything to Drew at that point, right? He
No.
wasn't too much antagonizing him. He wasn't making sure that he didn't win the championship. And even so, he was calling the match at WrestleMania. You kissed your wife. I'm taking it back all the way there. You fucked up. Damian Priest would have had to snuff your ass in the back on that long ass ramp, nigga. You took all that. You know how long a WrestleMania ramp is for a nigga to run down and cash in on your ass? That's your fault. Can't blame nobody else, nigga. That's your fault. That's
But
your
yeah,
fault.
there was just too many moments of Drew McIntyre just being epic, and I think that CM Punk is used. I think that he's definitely a
He's a
warranted
great foil.
wrestler.
He's an absolutely great foil.
Yeah, incredible foil. He's the way they use him is incredible. I think they all year, so he's definitely warranted as a Wrestle of the Year candidate too. But this year, I would have to go with Drew McIntyre, man. Um, only other option I would have maybe gone with is Swerve. He had a really good year, but I gotta give it to Drew. I gotta give it to Drew. He's just all from beginning to end. It was just been strong. Everything he's done. Everything he's done. Um, yeah, man. I think that's my wrestler of the year for men.
Okay, well, since we on here, I guess we can just bleed because we freestyle it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So one of my um candidates for um women's wrestler of the year um was featured in my turn of the year. My turn of the year happened with
Ooh.
Dom. Dom is my turn of the year at WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan had a really strong feud, a really strong, personable kind of. It took up a lot of TV stuff. It was really great stuff. But my turn of the year was Dom. But my women's wrestler of the year is also my comeback wrestler of the year. It's Nia Jax.
But it had nothing to do with Dom.
No, I said one of my considerations for wrestler of the year. One of my
Oh, consideration. Okay,
I
okay,
was
got
gonna
you. I
make
got you.
I was
All right,
gonna
I
make
heard you.
Liv my wrestler of the year, or my women's wrestler of the year,
No,
which I think she could have had a really strong case for women wrestler of the year. And actually, as I'm talking about it, I'm gonna make it. Gonna do it. Liv is my women's wrestler of the year
okay.
because I think about it, Nia didn't have a strong enough year to be women wrestler of the year. Liv had a really strong feud. She's had a really strong character development. She's
Mhm.
been champion. She's the first ever Saudi Arabian Iron
Definitely champion or
champion,
something. I
whatever,
don't know.
yeah, no, hey, salute, please don't bomb over
Yeah.
here. Um, so I really do appreciate Liv and how I really do appreciate Liv and her growth because I don't know how. Again, we talk about organic, or if they happen in the storyline. Those
Oh, she's
injuries
been
to
great.
Rhea, those things happened to Rhea, and she had to take time off. Becky's not there. We were clamoring for Liv earlier.
And she beat Becky too. Yeah.
Exactly. So with that being
So
said, Liv has had a really strong year. So she is my women's wrestler.
well, that's valid. I gotta give it to the most entertaining woman I think of the year, and that's Tony Storm. That gimmick was incredible, and I think she was one of the best pieces of AEW all year. One of the best superstars of AEW all year. You she in that timeless gimmick is something that whenever time I watched it, I was thoroughly entertained. Obviously they were playing off of the storyline with her Mara May. You told me the backstory to that, basing it off of the movies and all that stuff. And um, I think there was a lot of attention given to the character, and it was very entertaining. Even when on the vignettes, backstage segments, all that stuff, and the matches lived up as well. Whenever I saw her compete. Did I want her to face other people like a Willow Nightingale maybe and have a moment? Of course, but for the matches that she did have, she was incredible. And now she just returned with her old gimmick, and she's still acting like they're completely different people. It's almost like Shades of Foley or Faces of Foley. She doesn't even remember that timeless gimmick, much less vice versa. So I'm wondering how it can go, how things are gonna go forward with her next year. And I think that's how you really stand out, man. She in a way, she's a comeback player too, in a sense, but I'm not gonna give that to her. But I did not see this level of I think she came into her own this year in a strong way too, just like Drew. I think she was hitting on all cylinders all year. So I gotta give it to Tony Storm. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm about to send this to you right now. You know how Buffalo Bills fans do crazy shit in the parking lot? A nigga just got razor edge off the bed of a truck through a table,
The table.
like he from GCW or something. And I had to fucking. I'm
The
sorry.
Bills Mafia is crazy.
Yo, these niggas, that's like 20 degrees out there too.
Yeah, Bills
So Tony
Mafia is
Storm,
crazy.
I do agree with you on Tony Storm having a really good, uh, excuse me, a really good year, a really good. I'm putting it in the chat right now. A really good year, and also I also don't understand it a bit, right? Because what I know, she may not forget the timeless thing, but she don't remember Soraya or what anything before then. Because she was actually Tony Storm before she was
Yeah,
timeless.
I know, I know.
Does she remember anything? You know what I'm saying? Like so,
I
but
don't know, man. It's like she kind of like just believes like dude love, and then Cactus Jack and Foley, they don't know that each other exists.
that's true.
Crazy. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe she does remember. She gets her memory back. I don't know. But that's crazy. That Razor was nuts. I don't know what they're doing out there.
Bro, you see that
It's
Razor's
crazy.
Edge? Nigga, that
That
shit
is
was
crazy.
crazy.
She running nuts out there, yo. Shout out to Build Mafia. Congratulations. It is what it is, man. Um, but yeah, um, I agree with you though on one thing on comeback of the year. Guy with Nia Jax, Queen of the Ring. Nia had such a stellar year. She
Amazing.
and after everybody talked shit about her and injuring people and all that stuff, she stood 10 toes down and
Amazing.
became the dominant champion that we knew she should be and could be. And from about she didn't wasn't at WrestleMania, but from February from April on, domination. And I think and also let's go back to February. She faced Rhea in
She
in
faced
in
Rhea in
Australia.
Australia. It was a good
Australia,
match. It was
that
really,
it
yo,
was great.
that was one of
That was
the
good.
first good matches of the year, honestly.
Yeah, that was a really good match. That was one of the best matches of the year. Real talk. Tanaya has shown out, and she's been super entertaining as well. all year long, and actually gained so much respect. I've always loved Nia. I've never been on that hate train, but I think that this year shows why she is so good at what she does, and also how she is selfish in the ring with her opponents. Like she's put people in great positions. Like her matches with Naomi have been incredible as well. Let's be real. So she's still having great matches, like as of recently as a couple weeks ago. So shout out to Nia. I agree with you on the comeback of the year, 100%.
Oh, that's great. That's great. It's always a beautiful thing when we agree with one another. Less fighting between us. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, excuse me. Okay. So, um, another strong consideration for comeback player of the year was MSK. With a little brief time that they came back, the Rascals, when they hooped and play, and they wrestled. Because I'm looking at matches of the year, and that MSK versus Axiom match for Fraxium.
Oh yeah.
I thought they was gonna regain the tag team champion, and then fucking thought that was gonna be killer,
Yo,
nigga.
Fraxium has been really good, and I say it every time I watch their matches. I'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn this on. I'll watch it," and I'm like, "Wait a minute!" I was just like, "This is really fucking good." Like they always get me to stop and really tune into the match. It doesn't
That
matter if
was
they're facing rookies. They might have to be my tag team of the year. I'm not gonna lie. Let's be real. Like Fraxium, every time I see them, they're entertaining me. And the whole like storyline of Nathan Frazier overextending himself and not giving the tag team enough, attention, and almost losing the titles because he wants to go fight for the Heritage Cup, and he wants to fight for the North American Championship. He wants to fight for everything else but hold on to his tag team championships. While Axiom's like, yo, bro, like we got a match coming up. Chill, let's focus on this. I enjoy it. I'm enjoying
nigga
it,
be looking at that nigga like, yo, I didn't come in here as a tag, nigga. I'm trying to go get some. Go somewhere.
Get over
Match.
there getting destroyed by Omos in a freaking Survivors Challenge match. You know Iron Survivor match. That storyline has been unique. The storyline with Fraxium and them having to skate by and just barely win the championships every single time when you think they're going to lose it. So tag team of the year, yeah, yeah, I'm giving it to Fraxium, bro. Like they've been entertaining for me, bro. Like I know it's crazy, but they've been consistent.
That's one thing that we can say that they have been is consistent, and they were the reason that Wesley turned. If we want to talk about turns of the year, right? They lost that match, and my nigga Wesley super kicked the head off his niggas. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of these motherfuckers.
That's a good term,
Uh,
man.
but
Yeah.
I probably would say the only reason why I probably wouldn't give it to Fraxium is because I haven't watched them enough. But everything that you say, it is true. But DIY, the up and down that they had of the year, but winning right when they created the brand split, got the tag team titles, won the tag team titles.
They've been good.
The old
They've
look
had a
of
lot of
them
good matches too.
the
Yeah.
old look of the tag team titles fits them right.
Mhm.
And then the turn, right? Them now about to have a feud with Machine Guns and Street Profits to set up what's going on to next year.
Yeah.
We just asked about tag team wrestling for it to matter. It looks like it's going to matter on the Blue Brand.
Yeah.
I might have to give it to DIY because individually I do believe in Tommaso and Johnny, and more oftentimes than not, their matches, even though Fraxian matches don't bore me, they never have matches against people I don't care about. And Fraxium happens to do that a lot.
Yeah, I
A
got
lot.
you. I mean, it's NXT, so they're gonna be facing all types of people. But
Hey,
they always
and that's
elevate the
why
talent they're
you
with.
shouldn't
They
listen to
always
Twitter
elevate the talent.
because Motor City Machine Gun should have went down to Orlando, and they could have took the
Uh,
titles off of them, and they
That
could
was the
have.
plan until Penta and Phoenix weren't let out their contracts. And they're like, fuck, let's get these guys on SmackDown. So I could see them going back to NXT soon, anyways, Motor City. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, DIY had a great year as well. They had really good matches with the Bloodline, really good matches with the Street Profits. They had that TLC, or was it a TLC match or a ladder match with the Bloodline and Street Profits?
Yeah,
So
ladder match. It was a ladder match. Yeah.
they do need a little bit more focus, and I think they're going to get it now, like you're saying. So, but they have been good, yeah. So and they're 2-time champions this year, so they are one of them tag teams this year. I'm not gonna like they're great. So well, shout out to DIY. Shout out to DIY. You mentioned turns when you talked about Wesley and turns, and turning on his tag team brethrens. Great turn. We also had Carmelo turning on Trick this year. There's a lot of turns that happened this year, but I think the best turn was the New Day because it was so unexpected how they did it.
Ah,
You know, I know it's recency bias, but
nah,
this is,
it fits.
it's just I thought, okay, you know, Xavier's gonna turn on Kofi or Kofi turns on Xavier. I didn't see them both of them just exiling Biggie for having a desk job and having a girlfriend, and the reaction that they're getting now shows that it mattered. Now, Dom, I 100% think that was incredible as well. But I know I saw it coming a mile away at some point
And
because
honestly,
everything they
that
were
can't really
teasing.
be a turn because he went from heel to like the
Double
heelest.
heel.
He
Exactly.
went from heel
But
to
he
like,
turned on Rhea but he's still heel.
yeah.
But he turned on Rhea, but it's still, but that might even make it even better if you think about it. I don't know, depending on how you look at it. But I gotta go with the New Day because it was just like I saw Dom coming. I knew it was coming, and he did it in a great way. I think they set up that storyline lovely. Sometimes what you expect is the right thing, and that's one of those instances with Dom where I'm like, what I expect, I want to see. It's the right thing. The way they had the whole angle all summer with him and Liv, and them being compromised in different awkward positions that Rhea returns, and the pop that Rhea had when she returned, and Dom, had Liv on top of her. So the storyline going, that was one of the best storylines of the year. But I gotta go with the New Day because I'm curious to see where that goes, and I think it was more shocking for me personally.
No, I can agree with you on that. I can agree with you on that. New Day turning was different. It was unconventional. It was not seen.
It came out, and his mom turned on him on Monday, and he's like, "Yo, we could have beat him. We could have ended his career like that, like as if that makes it any better." But
No,
they
I mean,
on
like
Wednesday.
I'm being dead. I mean, like they're saying, like, "Hey, man, we're not as bad as you guys are putting it out there." Like, we could have did turns. Like, all we told him was get his broke neck ass out the ring and go back and make your movies and chill with your bitch, nigga. That's what you've been doing. What you here for now?
Oh,
You feel me? Like, what you here for? All we did was ask him, "What you here for now?" And to be honest, they're right. I
I know,
like that. They're right
I know,
because
right, man. This is Big
why?
E,
Hold
baby.
on. Why ain't they right, bro? Please tell me why ain't they right?
The dude broke his neck, man. He broke his neck, and y'all gonna treat him like that? And more than anything, y'all are gonna break up. You guys can be bonded by kicking him out. Like, what was he supposed to do?
Bro, hold on. Here we go, bro. The pompous. This is the Drew situation now, right? Where I'm like, Drew has no worry but to feel this way about CM Punk. No, could take your ass back to the locker room, pop some champagne, went to go fuck your bitch, and call it a night, right? To Big E's point, you broke your neck. You're in rehab. Nobody's asking you to fight. Nobody's asking you to come put hands on niggas. We said you don't miss the road with us. And when we got a Florida loop, my nigga, you live in Tampa, bro. It's shows in Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa. You can't Miami. You don't want to do a 4 city loop with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I know you got opportunities. Hey, shout out to my nigga. He won a NAACP award as well with his animated series about Ruby Bridges. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know about Ruby Bridges, she was the first person to break segregation in schools. She walked her little black self over there and looked up the white people and said, I go here now. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Ruby Bridges. She's a legend.
Who
But
won the
Biggie,
NAACP award? Biggie won it.
yes, yeah,
Wow!
him and Andre Hale won the job.
Congratulations! I did not know that. That's awesome.
So I mean, realistically, they're not mad at what he did. They mad at what he didn't do. And what he didn't do was tap in with us. FaceTimes, group chats, everything like that. It goes a long way. But when I came and I drove from Philly to come to your sister house, my nigga, it meant something. It means something. You feel me? Seeing your homie, seeing you tap in, doing the show in person, my nigga, like it means something. So I'm saying it from that point of view, nigga. I'm a nigga that drove to go see my nigga. I'm the nigga that deviated from a plan that I had. So Biggie, I'm talking to you from a nigga that I know. You got something going on, you put that shit to the side, my nigga. You go pull up to your niggas. You know what I'm saying? They need you. They needed you. Now you felt like they need you the most, and that's when you come. Nah, I ain't with that. I needed you not when I
No, I
need you the
think
most,
Biggie.
when I need you the little, nigga. That matters too.
You can't blame Biggie for having faith in his brothers to hold down New Day without him. You know, when Xavier Woods was injured, you know, him and Kofi were doing his thing. When Kofi was injured, him and Xavier would do their thing. You know, and it's just like, all right, just when you get back, you know. And now they're gonna make him feel like his injury is different, and
But
that,
let's keep it
you
a buck
know,
though. When they got back, they got back. Now to Big E, when you not in a neck brace and you can move your shit like this and you can dress yourself, you back. You back. Do you know the motivation that we could have had when we going through carrying cross or something like that? Nigga, you can bump Paul Ederling. You telling me you can't bump Paul? You can't hit her. You can't throw the Paul, nigga. Like we been battling, bro. You ain't been nowhere.
ah man,
You
I
ain't
can't do
been
that to Biggie,
nowhere.
man.
We
It
can't
just
hear.
seems
Oh, Orlando! Don't you dare, nigga. We hear that. But when we hear y'all want to go big, then say that, and we gotta cheer for you, nigga. Come on, brother. You got your own interest music and everything, brother. You didn't even come up to the. You didn't even come to pop us with the joint. You hit us with your own trends.
well, I'm go big to say that. Listen, man, I feel you. I feel you, but I want to see how this turns out. Give New Day the tag championships back. I want to see them get a championship run at WrestleMania. Hopefully, they get a championship
Well,
match.
I know. I want them to have a feud. I want to have a meaningful feud, and if they're gonna have it with the War Raiders are doing some really good shit. They came back strong. They came
Oh
back
yeah,
with meaning. They came back with
shout out
purpose.
to
They came.
Ivar. I listened to his interview, and he almost ended his career off of his neck injury, but he's back, and he still deals with some pain because of
Nigga,
his neck
that's what
injury.
Kofi and them niggas looking at. They looking at, oh boy, and he came back still doing front flips and everything.
They should do the feud based off of that. They should use
Yes,
that shit in
that
the angles. And I reckon,
whole
listen, you guys don't have the right to talk about recovery because I've been through it, and this is not as easy as it seems. You can talk his shit
as
for Big E,
as
stand up for Big E.
Ray told him he can't dress in there. War Raiders should step to him like, you don't know what a screw in your neck feel like. You don't know what a
Oh,
neck fusion feel like. You don't know what the rehab feels like.
yeah,
That
yeah,
should be fire, nigga.
yeah. That should be ill. That should be ill, man.
Booking
So, yeah, man, you know it. But yeah, so that's my turn of the year. There's a lot of good ones. Like, and honestly, I could also throw in The Rock because I know it's not. I because that to me it was a turn. Him at the press conference, and slapping Cody. That to me was like him officially saying, "Nah, I'm embracing the heel role."
Don't
But
you talk about my family, boy.
look at you now. Look
That
at you now.
that nigga said your granddaddy would be ashamed of you, and that motherfucker said, "You talk about my fucking family. Don't
Mhm.
talk about." And Cody should have been like, "Everybody talk about my damn daddy."
Exactly.
Everybody talking about my daddy.
Exactly.
They call niggas my daddy kids. Nigga,
Facts.
man, Kobe should have. Nigga, this is what I'm trying to say. Cody should have already warned that nigga. Sometimes you just gotta reach and put it to a motherfucker head. That's what Cody should have did. When Rock slapped him, Cody should have just reached and said, "Motherfucker,
That's why you need arm. That's why you need arm. Where's arm when you need him?
come to Philly if you want to. I'll kill you dead."
But yeah, you can't lie. That was a moment. And speaking of moment, it might be one of the moments of the year. That press conference, bro. Come on now. That set in row and domino effect for whatever happened at WrestleMania, everything that happened at WrestleMania. And that moment of like us not knowing what's gonna happen, it was one of the more talked about moments of the year leading into WrestleMania. That heightened frenzy of like Cody, or what do they call it? Cody.
Cody crybabies, little punk ass niggas.
But yeah, it was a frenzy of just trying to get Cody into that match and that he deserved because he won the Royal Rumble. So that to me is that my moment. Yeah, I think that's my moment of the year. That press conference, bro. That felt different.
My moment of the year. My man giving up the ranks. Vincent Kennedy McMahon Jr.
Oh God.
saying goodbye.
That was this year. That's right.
Bro, what a fucking moment, my nigga.
Oh my God.
I'm gone. I'm back. I'm gone for real.
TKO, get your ass the fuck on. Yeah. Yeah, the beginning of last year was crazy.
Yo,
Of this year, I should
yo.
say, but
Yeah, that was my moment. Vince, a a a a, a world, a WWE, a WrestleMania, right? We asked, what will WrestleMania look like without Vince McMahon? Can they do it? Will it be it? And them niggas said, hold my motherfucking beer. they
yeah, they did. They killed it.
and Vince being completely gone from the reins, selling it, the documentary coming out on Netflix, everything that we kind of thought and could be, and whatever the case may be, still has to have his day of court. I'll say that, but pretty much it
Yeah.
shows where we're at with it. But Vince McMahon and a wrestling world without Vince McMahon at the helm or being involved, being around, sniffing, like calling in, none of that. Like none of that. My moment of the year is wrestling a WWE. In
Take
fact,
your money and go. Yeah.
they're and so we can make more money. They're
Yeah.
thriving right
They
now.
really are, man.
Like they're thriving, and
I'm thinking about investing in Netflix because after I watched the Christmas game and now Raw going to Netflix, live TV and the ads that are going to be actually on Netflix now because Netflix didn't have ads. Now it's going to have ads. As you
exactly.
can see, it
I
might go up in stock like a little, like quite a bit over the next couple of years. And this pivot to Netflix for wrestling is huge because that freedom they're going to have from not being on network television. I'm really curious to see if we feel that off of the first show, and I think that with Vince at the helm, I think we're still kind of holding on to the old past, even if there was no scandal, it would be still holding on to the old version. Maybe there could have been some kind of changes, but this guy is old and the kind of past him. Like you're wrestling, you're out of touch and you're still booking kind of like it's the 80s, the 90s in a sense. What we got with Shorty G, how you treated a certain, like as late as everything he did with Austin Theory was just like kind of like forced a little bit, so it's like he still had that certain mindset that just wasn't like for today's day and age, and the change. I hear you because the change in the product was him going has been stark difference. And the realism, the fact that there's segments online that play into the television show and they talk about it on TV. They can say professional wrestling. Little nuances throughout the year would not have been there without him gone, I think, completely. And hitting now with Netflix coming, we get to see this in its true form of what they think they can do. It might not be that different, but I think that it would have been way more the same if he was there.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, to be quite honest, I don't really know if there is this growth in business if he's there, right? I don't know how, as we're seeing things unfold, I don't know how realistically companies view him during this time and do business with him
Let me ask
like
you a question,
they're doing right now.
because this is kind of like the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick thing when I look at Roman Reigns and Vince, because the Roman Reigns tribal chief character started with under Vince, and I think that way of storytelling changed, and from that point forward, we start seeing it change in the business too, and started to get more and more popular again over like especially the second and third year of him being champion. Um, do you think that the business would still boom if Vince was in charge and we just changed the tribal chief character and continued that way? And I think on some level there still will be a bit boom. It wouldn't be as big, but I still think that a lot of it is due to how Roman Reigns changed his whole stick. I do.
Do you think so?
I really do. I think because before Vince even left, things felt different. Not to the degree that it did when he's gone, because now it's freedom for everybody to get the Roman treatment and long-term storytelling with Rhea and Liv, and we're seeing with New Day and them really and Drew McIntyre. Everything has like certain meaning, but I started seeing Roman kind of like tentacles with the bloodline and everything he did with with Sami Zayn. Vince was still in charge during that time, and people were going crazy. People were going crazy for the bloodline, and business was booming at that time. So I gotta credit some of that to how the pivot was made with him, with Roman, with Paul. I'm sure is invested in how they presented things, because that was a moment that changed. And then obviously Cody coming back as well, I think added the perfect baby face to the foil of Roman. It was like a perfect marriage. And even if Vince was here, that would have made a lot of business regardless.
Man, as you was talking and saying I might have to buy stock, I had to go check and see what it was. Netflix is 100. Oh shit! Am I tripping? I gotta be tripping. This Netflix is not $900 a stock.
Oh shit. That
$900 a stock, nigga. Are you shitting me? Wow.
wow.
Wow. $900 a stock, family.
It was 486 at the beginning of the year. This has been a big year for Netflix, man.
You said at the beginning of the year, hold on, let me check.
It was
Does
468, excuse me,
yep, yep,
around that.
yep, 400. I got it at 474 at January 5th.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy. And that bitch just went up $500, bro.
They probably gonna have to do a split eventually, a stock split once it gets to like 1,000.
TKO's at 140. 144. 144.
Would you believe in them growing?
Huh?
You believe in TKO? That's a good stock to go for too.
Oh,
But
I
Netflix.
already got stock in them. That's my
Oh, you already.
roll.
Oh, that's right.
That's my rollover from WWE.
That do you
Yeah,
still get it? You get like notice that you get notices on that?
yeah. I just replaced my dividends back into my
Okay,
holdings. But like I had bought I think my original
it's
right.
crazy. Netflix exploded.
Yeah,
That I'm just looking at this right now. It's just insane.
I
I
think
could
I
have
got
got it. I could have got it in October for like 700. Could have got it
ooh.
back in August for 598, and now it's at 907, and it's continually going up.
Yeah, TKO is in a 78% buy market right now by analytics. DraftKings is $38 to get into. Uh, yeah, and yeah, when I bought the stock, it was like $45.
Wow,
45 dollars. So now I can
good shit.
still I can sell a share and still have a share left in it and get $144. But that's little money.
Netflix is going up. There's no stopping them. So I don't know
No,
what it's gonna be at the end of this year coming up, but it ain't too late. I think that once you get more of this live television on Netflix with less restrictions from the networks, man, look out, man. And people are gonna have no choice with football going there, but to get a subscription. It's a wrap.
yeah, it hurts so bad. It
But yeah,
hurts so bad.
do you agree that even with Roman, I mean Vince not leaving, that Roman, Cody, all the stars align for business to boom regardless? I think it's expounded by Vince leaving, true, but I do think that on some level the stars were aligning before he left. That the business was growing fast.
Well, I will say that just as much as I would say, to be honest, um, I don't think so. Like that's why I'm trying to
Yeah.
articulate a little bit before we got sidetracked. Is that I don't know if business will be as prominent. Like we're seeing a wide net being casted for wrestling at this junction, and I think it's because that Vince is not there. I think we have the reach that we have. I think we have the relationships that we have. I think we have the stocks blossom because we don't have corporate critics with the market talk. I'm about that chicken. Cock and chicken. Uh, but I think
You ain't
realistically,
coming for no chili, what you come for?
I think realistically, like when we speak about the boom of business, right? Even with the sale of WWE to TKO, um, niggas had to pretty much now do press releasing like, yo, this nigga not involved in nothing we doing. Because the stench of who he is, the bravado, right? We see it win in other places, electoral votes and everything like that. But at the end of the day, that does also impact business on a grander global scale. We got niggas like, do we want to do business with them over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, so they run in a pack, and so on a smaller scale, I think that Vince being as boisterous as he is, as um, um, nonchalant as he is, I think also with him not understanding the times that we are in. I don't
Exactly.
think he moves as fast to pick up this cash that they got digitally right now. Like they moving real good.
I'm gonna like I think that the acquisition with TKO makes it a lot easier for them to grow, and I think it just helps a ton, you know. But there's something to be said about what Roman did, changing the tribal chief, Cody coming back, everything that happened with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn, all that happened with Vince under control, and the business what they were selling out arenas then. So I can't just say it's just because Vince left, but I do agree with you that Vince leaving completely shot them out the cannon and elevated them to another stratosphere that probably may not have happened. So I'm with you on that. But yeah, for that to be your moment of the year, Vince leaving is 100% warranted. You know, leaving it's something that I wasn't sure if if he would ever leave while being alive. I thought he was gonna die in that chair with the pen in his hand. But uh, to see wrestling and then also like saying, okay, what can wrestling be without Vince? I was even skeptical. Like, all right, let me see if I can trust it. But it is better. It's a lot better. We get CM Punk back and him and Triple H are getting along and it's great storytelling all around. It's being treated like a weekly television show, which is what I wanted, which is like I was telling you, like when we started this pod, like, yo, why can't they treat this like a weekly television show where one week leads to the next? Like it's not that hard. And you're like, it's just wrestling. You shouldn't expect it from it. But I'm like, it is a television show. It is a weekly television show. And they finally figured it out. Like I was like, why can't these story time, like long-term storytelling happen? This is like back in 2018, I was telling you about this. Like, why can't they tell a long-term story like a Game of Thrones? And I'm like, not to that level, obviously, but like they can do that, and pay attention to what happens and not forget about things completely. Like the whole shit with retribution, the shit that would happen with Bobby Lashley and the sisters. I was like, what is going on? So there's just certain things that would happen back in the day, and now we're not seeing those corny, hokey things happen. It's now more about real storytelling. Just the turn, even the turn with KO, one of my favorite turns of the year. It was done backstage with cameras from the fans that they knew were going to be taken and put on social media because they didn't have to do it on TV, and it just spread like wildfire. So I gotta hand it to the way that they're moving it now. And for that to, I that's your moment of the year. I can't knock it because it's had ripple effect on the industry at large.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um,
You're right. They got the blueprint 100%. Finally figured it out. They cracked the code. WWE still runs
hey,
the same games and acts like they have no competition
I mean they
and never
don't.
would ever.
Oh, I'm
They
sorry.
came
I'm
to
sorry.
destroy.
And does
Oh,
whatever
good.
they can to destroy. Let's talk about said competition, okay? Because Conrad, tap in. Did you watch World's End? Nolo, did you watch World's End? Scott, D Mac, did y'all watch World's End? Are you checking for the competition? And the reason why I'm asking that is because my man said, yes, sir. Okay. What did you like about the show? What do you like about the product? Um, it was one thing that surprised me. Will Hobbs, Kanoska Takeshka. Goddamn. Goddamn, goddamn. It was a few times they had me. Hobbs
Most
showed the knee.
Pop should have won.
Hobbs had a few false finishes. Hobbs could have won. Should have, I don't know. Because that
Should
means he got to stay a little bit longer. Lose, keep losing so you can leave. Go. Go
have.
ahead. The NXT waiting for you, brother. Okay. But
Yo, Hobbs and still go crazy. Um, but yeah, that's the thing, man. He should have won it. He should have won that. I didn't watch World Dead. I'm gonna let you rock for a little bit.
okay, well, I'm gonna say this. Another thing that popped off to me on World's End. Mercedes Monet, or as Jim Cornette calls her, Mercedes Moon. Mercedes Monet had a great match with Chris Statlander. Really great match with Chris Statlander. Um, um, the my man said Hobbs couldn't win. Takeshita got stuff tied up in New Japan Pro Wrestling. That is true because the winner of that match is now going to the Tokyo Dome. So that is correct. That was a correct statement. So Hobbs a Sacktown nigga. I don't really think my man trying to go to Japan. You feel me? Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. To my
And
man.
that's the thing. Like, if you got a guy that has to defend your championship in Japan, is that smart? Is that smart? That means that now the guy who just came back and probably should get a push can't, because you got some nigga holding your
What?
championship that has to hit dates in Japan.
I mean, they got so many championships. House can move over to the next one.
It's
Oh, what?
not the same. This was a moment. Like, it felt like people were like,
No, this was a moment for us to remind ourselves that Hobbs still matters. Okay, Hobbs can go. Hobbs can compete coming off this injury with one of the best in the world. That was what I got from it. I did not get this from the same. Now let's talk about stat. Right, stat is another reason why she did not win, because now Mercedes Monet gets to go and travel with her both titles to New Japan for New Japan Strong Championship match as well. But Statlander and Mercedes can build off of that back in the States when Mercedes comes back. That match was also well done, and the finish was really, really good. No cheating. Well, I mean, Mercedes cheated, but no outside interference, I should say. And Mercedes straight up in the middle of the ring got her in a pin predicament and won and escaped. Great, great, great booking, great psychology in that. To your point of Hobbs should get a push, this goes back to my point. Don't push him, please. Let his contract run out. Let his contract run out. And you laughing, bro, but let's be honest.
nah, it's
AW,
funny to me. I'm not saying it's like bad. I'm not saying it's wrong, but like, it's like we don't know if his contract is. You don't know if he even wants to go to AEW, but like, it's funny that you're like, nah, you just get him out of there. I love what he did so much that he has to leave AEW.
well, I mean, realistically, I mean, before you jump off the ledge and be like he should have won a championship, they missed the moment. I'm just like the moment was to see if he can have moments, right? Like that. That was for me what I was trying to find out and what
They
I
did
was
the
trying.
same thing with Private Party and Young Bucks, and then they came back and did it, and it didn't mean as much. So, I've seen them do this a ton of times
You
before.
can't
So
say it don't
so
mean as much,
blame
but
me.
the win is the win, bro. Like private party is tag.
No, the win is not the win. It's great. I'm glad they got it. Don't get me wrong. Like, not all wins are equal. Certain moments and when you do it and how you do it matters. A win on freaking a regular Dynamite that I missed. Oh, great! I found, but when I was watching the pay per view and they should have won, the crowd's going crazy for them, and it's a big stacked house. That is a different environment. It matters. Now, granted, I'm cool. Like, Private Party winning the championship, I'm glad to have it, but Will Hobbs or winning it in that moment would have been big. But hey, if they got obligations because of whatever Japan requirements, cool.
Well, why,
It
okay,
is
him
what it
winning
is.
that moment does what? Because that wasn't the moment. You didn't watch it. So like him coming back, the match wasn't a moment enough for you to watch it. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't
No,
a
I
moment.
know enough by your reaction and by other people's reaction that, okay, this was a moment that they should have given the time, in my opinion. Now, granted, I should go back and check it out just to say, hey, did it warrant it? But you told me that false finishes got you, and I know you. You like this match. He's talking about Osprey and Okada being fired. That's the match everybody's talking about. But if you're talking about Will Hobbs and Takeshita as that match being what you love the most,
The reason why
and
I'm
then, yeah,
because
maybe
I
that
didn't
he
I
should have
didn't
gotten the
expect
title.
I didn't ex- no I didn't expect much from it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. There's no. So back to my point of why I was asking Conrad about competition, right? I don't care about the stories. I barely care about the matches. I care about the matches if it brings me two people that I care about. I care about Takeshita. Takeshita should have taken the throne of Okada. He should be the best Japanese star in America, and he should make no bones about it. Takeshita is one of them ones. I've been a big fan of Will Hobbs for a long time. But when Hobbs came back from injury, I also want it's the Wardlow effect. When Wardlow comes back, I'm not expecting him to win, but I want to see what they do with him. So when Hobbs got back, I like what they did with Hobbs to a point where he is in a championship match. Now, I'm anticipating a championship match for it to be competitive and Takeshita wins. It wasn't it was a slobber knocker. Like they went out and put on a fucking banger. So for me, it was like my man said, a temp check. Do y'all fuck with Hobbs enough? Right? Same temp check that we got with Private Party. When they lost, internet, the fans in the arena moaned and groaned. It was like, that was it. That was when Willow lost. Right? I get you. There are moments because we followed that story in the boom. Hobbs, I can't put him in that particular category because at the same time, it's World End. So my point to you was like, if Moxley lost the title, you said no. Moxley can't lose the title because the moment's not warranted for it. So when you say that, so I'm just following you with it. That moment didn't necessarily warrant for the title change. That's what I'm.
Hey,
That's
that's what
what.
you're saying. I'll take your word for it. I just, I have my PTSD with AEW. That's why I didn't watch the show. They have great, paid live events or whatever you want to call it. So I just am so dejected by how they handle things this year. And
Why
there's so many.
they had most of the categories for match of the year this year though. For me, like
Okay.
Osprey and Shane was this year. Danielson and fucking MJ. Danielson and fucking
I'm not.
Swerve was this year.
It's the same conversation with AEW. So I'm not gonna rehash everything I've been saying for the whole year. But you're right. They have great matches. They've always had great matches.
Well,
So I
what I was going to say is those matches were attached to storyline. So to your point, they don't do it all the time, which is your PTSD. But to what I was saying is that that's
what I
why
was gonna say is more about creating the star in the moment with like you just said with Willow and what you just said with Prior Party, because you can do it at the pay-per-view. Oh, temp check, okay, pay-per-view. If you're doing a temp check for Will Hobbs, don't just throw him winning a championship on like a TNT on the regular night, which is what they did with Private Party. If people are rocking with Willow, don't have her lose a championship to Mercedes the next week and then get her job and then get jumped by Chris Statlander and then turn Chris Statlander babyface a
but
week
see,
or
but
two
you're
later. And
combining stuff,
listen
Chidi.
to me, listen to me, listen to me. It
All right,
matters. If you're not,
okay.
if you're not following me, I don't know what to tell you, but it
I'm
matters.
following, but we're talking about you're not compartmentalizing. You're having a run on sentence about your feelings. I'm compartmentalizing a moment, and the Private Party wasn't. To your point,
I'm not just having a run-on sentence about my feelings. I'm saying that these are things that factually happened. So why should I have any faith about them not capitalizing on Will Hobbs? That's my point.
well, if you don't have any faith on them capturing on Will Hobbs, then how you going to say it should have been a moment? That's what I'm trying to.
Because clearly, okay, forget it.
No, no, I'm trying to follow you. Like
Because
Private
clearly
Party
you
won the
enjoy.
tag team titles at 250. It wasn't just a regular Dynamite. It was a touted. It was 250. It wasn't. It was a regular Dynamite to you because again the shows have been shitty. But it was the 250 Dynamite. They didn't win it at a regular Dynamite. Now Willow didn't win a championship at a regular event. She lost it. She didn't even lose it at a regular event.
I'm talking about since she got hot, she's not done shit after that. She lost her title, got jumped by her best friend, then kept losing. And then on top of that, her best friend who you turned back to being babyface for no, so it's like within a month. So it's like the decisions they're making squandered her heat, or I mean her steam for nothing. They was wasted Willow. So Private Party, great. Finally came back around, gave him the titles at 250. You're right. Boom. They made a new moment, maybe. You know? Will Hobbs, from what I'm hearing, it would have been cool to see him beat Takeshita. That's all.
Well, it would have been cool if you got PTSD. It would have been cool for him to beat Takeshita and then do what is what I'm trying to I'm asking. Like you're arguing for the sake
Then
of
be the
just.
champion and defend the championship going forward. You know what I mean? And then put him in a storyline with somebody he can defend the championship against. Like, it's
But
not
what
like
you're okay. You're arguing something. For one, you didn't see it. For two, you haven't been following. And for three, what the reason why you're thinking it should be a moment is different from what I'm interpreting. This wasn't a moment for them. This was a moment where they made a Willow, right? Willow had to be made during that time. Willow was made by losing.
I know I
Right?
get what you're saying. I get it.
I mean, but I'm okay. Well, if you get it, then why you act like you don't get it when you brought up
I'm
Willow?
not acting like I don't get it. I'm just saying, like, we'll see what goes on forward. From what I'm hearing, people were saying that they wanted to Will Hobbs take this one, and I'm just going based off of that and your reaction. So
No,
so I'm like, damn. So I'm like looking at like, damn, Will Hobbs is getting this love, right? She's getting this love. That gives me anxiety alone. Already, I'm getting anxiety based off of damn, the guy that I like is finally getting love again, and now we'll see how they respond to it. But I'm not here to argue about AEW because I'm checked out.
I
I'm not
don't.
gonna kill him. I'm not trying to kill him.
Only reason why I'm saying okay. So what I'm trying to get from you and what I'm trying to understand is that is part of being a fan, is it not? When our guy don't get it at that moment, we wait for them to get it. But you are diminished.
Chris, why can't you understand that this is AEW we're talking about here, and they've done this like over and over and over
I'm
again.
bringing up
You,
AEW
you,
because when Conrad brings up the competition of AEW, I'm following the competition of the AEW. I'm following the competition of AEW, and I am also mad at what they give me, but I don't have the syndrome that you do, where everything they do gives me the ick. And it feels and when I say that Will Hobbs had a good match, you automatically have the it. And I'm like, nigga, they just build up Hobbs for you to root for him. That is why they did it. Hobbs has been gone, and they did so, bringing him back, had a banger match for you to say, hey, we want more Hobbs, because that's what we did with Willow. Now, Willow didn't win the grand prize, and Willow won the TBS championship, and she lost it. I get you on that. But what I'm saying is when Willow won, that was what they wanted from us, which was the big joyous pop. Now I hear you. Once we get it, they don't do well with it. But we have to get the first step. We have to get a little fire behind Hobbs. We have to raise them up a little bit, and we have to put them in something that matters.
Last time they've exhausted all my AEW trust tokens. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm not stupid. I get that, but I'm not going to buy into this.
Though, is what
I'm
saying.
not going to buy. I'm not going to buy into this.
Takeshita wasn't the moment though.
If you say that, that's your opinion. Cool.
No, I'm saying that for you because you didn't even watch it. So you're saying you're arguing on the
I'm going based off of your reaction. I'm going based off of your reaction and people talking about it the way they are.
But you have an opinion off of something that is not your reaction.
So my point is the mass appeal of this person and this match. I can have an opinion on it. Just because I didn't watch the match itself, Yeah, cool. Because I can tell off of your reaction alone, bro. I know. Oh man, I can only
But
imagine
my
if he actually won.
reaction wasn't that he
But
should have won, though. That's
oh,
what I'm
listen, I'm just saying
saying.
if he did, I'm not saying your reaction is that he should have won. You don't think that. I think that if he did, you would have a big reaction, and we won't know because it didn't happen. So like let's end it right here. I get it. I know where you're. I don't have to have the same opinion about this, even if I haven't watched the match. I don't. That's how I feel about the situation here. And
If
now
if
they went a different route. Cool. You look at it as a temp check. Fine. I'm not gonna argue with you on it.
no, I mean, but I'm saying no. You saying you're not going to argue with me, but what you say you're using my emotions to base your emotion off of it. I'm not arguing the fact that Hobbs should have won it. I'm excited that Hobbs had a good match go. I'm great that Hobbs was put in a position to show his talent. So therefore, I'm not pessimistic on your end with the PTSD
I know you're
that
not.
that oh, they put him in a position. Now I'm scared to see what they were doing with him. I'm just
Listen,
happy
I'm
that he's in that
cynical.
spot.
I don't care if you don't like the fact that I'm cynical about it. That is, it is what it is. I saw, you know, and if you think that you have faith in them that they're gonna capitalize, oh, now they know Hobbs is good. Oh, now they know they can pull the trigger on Hobbs. We'll see. We'll see.
No,
We'll
I
wait and
mean
see.
I'm the one who said let his contract go. I'm the one. So I'm not. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm
So
what
you
if
don't have faith either. Like,
no? Okay, bro. Hobbs first and foremost, bro. Hobbs need to be on TV. Hobbs need to wrestle. Hobbs need to have something that mattered. This is a step in that. So I am happy. I'm not sitting here saying that I was in the false finishes got me because of the match that they were having. So when they go up for the spot and Hobbs is working his knee and they do the super fucking power bomb off the a super power slam off the top rope, I'm thinking that's like a super styles clash or a super RKO. And I'm like, oh, that is the end. It's a Keska rings out like, oh, that the roller coaster of the psychology of the match. To tie this up, Hobbs lost his sympathy, lost with this exactly. So he has something that he can build upon. So
okay.
and realistically, to your point though, this goes back to, and it's tough.
Well, thanks, Conrad. I appreciate the. Thank you for
The
clarifying.
is tough because we give AEW so much credit and so much love because they deserve it for the way that they do treat and elevate and put black talent on stages. But when I'm happy about Hobbs, your two biggest things is Private Polly and Willow, two black acts, three superstars in altogether who we rise up for, and then we kind of have a major thing for Ricochet is going through that right now. Swerve is going through that right now. I need them to get a handle on just the direction of talent in general. Um, and I don't want to make it a black and white thing, but we're black, so we like a lot of black talent. I like when we like to elevate our black
It's
talent, but I
not
hate
just
when
them,
they
you know.
fall.
It's Will Ospreay to some discredit. I think they, you know, granted he had incredible matches last night. How they, like you mentioned, Wardlow, you know, Swerve. I actually think they did a good job with it. Ironically, you know, so
And
it's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing where it's a fundamental issue with AEW and how they present their talent. And Jay White, like you know, and it's like even with Mercedes, like it's an uphill battle almost for us to give her the credit that she deserves. And now we're like, oh, you know, she's a great wrestler. Like, nigga, we've been known this. It's about how you present this. Now it's like, oh, everybody's Mercedes is a really good wrestler. Like we've known this for a
well,
long
that's because
time
the
now. It's not a
character's just been
surprise.
so shit. The character's been shitty.
Yeah, and that's not all her fault. You know, it's not all her fault. You know, granted she could change it up a little bit, but yo, like how you present people matter. And I'm not gonna get off of that with AEW. And hey, maybe I'm going too hard on the handle with the Will Hobbs thing. Cool, but it's a larger issue. I'm really getting at, you know, and it's not just like a black wrestler issue. It's it's a big issue with how they present their talent. You know, Conrad has issue with Nakamura, Shinsuke. and Dragon Lee, and that those are his guys. So he's gonna talk about he doesn't have faith in that. So if he were to see somebody use a certain way, and I don't know, maybe Montez has a good match tomorrow, he might be like, shit, like that's cool, that's one match. What's next? He's not going to have as much faith. Me, I'm going to have that same feeling with certain things that AEW does until they have a consistency on how they present things, and I'm just checked out. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the barometer of what they're trying to target
Well,
at this
even
moment.
even with Conrad's argument, so I want to just to your point, to Conrad's argument, I have no faith in WWE capitalize on Montez Ford tag team wrestling and these mid card titles. Nakamura's happy he's a champ, no decision in 30 days. Like, why? First and foremost, my nigga, are we not progressing? And this is what I'm trying to say. When we were saying wrestling fans will want it and will complain. Hey, where's Nakamura? He's here. He wants the title. Why he's not defending it against anybody? Is he not badass on TV right now, my nigga? Did he not just fought off motherfucking Jacob Fatu? Is he not one of the badass niggas presented on television? The tag team.
I wouldn't. This year, time of year gets a little, different with the booking schedule and storylines. I wouldn't judge this time for them not using Nakamura. Me personally, I'm looking at it like, okay, they're kind of in like a holding pattern. Maybe might escalate something small, but there's a lot of filler episodes during this time of the year. It just really
And,
is.
and to be honest, me and you talked about it a lot. We just talked about it on the last show. You said that you can pluck a challenger anywhere. Now, you just said AEW has a problem with that. You don't want WWE to start falling into just put. He was like Apollo Crews. We just had an argument, nigga. If you don't get your that nigga was in the match with the Bloodline, it was like a waste. Wait, nigga, I'd rather cut a promo, right? If there are niggas, there are people.
Why
Again,
can't Apollo Crews get a temp check? That's that's my point. Why
okay,
can't Apollo
Apollo.
Crews get a
Okay,
temp check?
because
Like, come on, like,
what's nigga? Because okay, you want to put Apollo Crews in the Will House conversation? Let's do so. Let's go ahead. Because Apollo Crews is about cold as shit in the fucking fridge, my nigga. Dead ass.
Will Hobbs just came out of an injury. He wasn't even on TV. So look,
Off,
my thing is like you can genuinely heat somebody up just like they did with Will Hobbs and then give him a title match. It doesn't have to happen tomorrow.
But what I'm saying is also too, if I came back and I said Apollo Crews had a good match with Shinsuke Nakamura, you would not say put the title on him because he had a moment. Don't miss a moment. That's all I'm saying as well. Will Hobbs just came back and he just had a good match with Takeshita, the equivalent of Nakamura. They built a slow program that was quick enough that they could have on a pay per view.
I heard you. I get it. I go
Again,
past it.
you just brought up
Like
the
you're
temp
explaining
check.
this to me like as if I don't know. I
I mean,
brought the temp check
you just
because
brought up
I'm
the
saying
temp
that
check
my
about.
point was about Apollo Crews, not Will Hobbs. It's about
So
Apollo Crews being able to have a match. You know, I'm not against Will Hobbs having a match and
okay,
competing for this championship. I'm not. You don't even want Apollo Crews even to question. I mean, in my view, it's not even about Apollo. I'm not even like big on that. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is when it comes to Nakamura and the United States Championship or the Intercontinental Championship, they can pick somebody and build an angle. Is that we've seen it happen before. Um, Conrad says he hates how Carmelo Cruz is treated compared to Braun Breaker. Newsflash: Carmelo's is extremely talented,
but
but
he
he's
ain't
not Braun
Braun
Breaker.
Breaker.
He ain't Braun
He
Breaker.
ain't Braun Breaker.
He ain't Braun Breaker. Braun
Yeah.
Breaker is a specimen. And he's bigger, stronger.
And that United States Championship is not this. Nobody held this title like Gunther to make
I
this
love
title
Carmelo to death.
matter.
His trajectory is gonna take. He's a smaller guy. It's gonna take the Shawn Michaels route, building yourself up over years and years of having good match after good match after good match. Eventually, you get there. But Braun
They
Breaker
weren't
is more of like
equals.
a.
They weren't equal. One nigga wrestled Walter, and one nigga one nigga didn't.
Was it
Now
one nigga was in the cruiserweight division when they started. One of them went straight to Tommaso and competed for the NXT Championship. Like it's just different, you know.
it's different, baby. It's different. It's different. And to both of you guys' point, I'm not asking you niggas not to be cynical. What I am saying to you guys is that through the lenses of that, what you're seeing it as, do you ever take it off and see it outside of your perspective? You say, no, it's my perspective. And I say, cool. But
I've done that plenty for AEW. I've done that plenty. I'm going to be honest with you. Right now with AEW, I'm being a dick. I'm not going to lie. I'm not right. And I'm not trying to be right. I don't care. I just, because I just don't care, you know? But,
I think with AEW, SmackDown isn't building with all this talent either. Oh, what talent? SmackDown got what talent? What talent? We was just asking who the fuck Cody challengers. What talent do SmackDown got? What what talent do they got, bro? When Logan Paul had the United States Championship, they put Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in there, nigga. Like, what talent do they have? Like, let's be real. They took two fucking, which are now main event fucking storyline talent, and put them with Logan fucking Paul for the United States Championship until LA Knight got hot enough.
There you go. Like, the thing about it is, we can't get everything at the same time, guys. Everybody was begging for LA Knight to win a championship. He won it. Now, if he were to lose that championship to Carmelo in a week or a month, people be like, "Oh, what? That's a short reign." So, like, it takes time. You can't have him hot and Carmelo at the same time. You can't have Solo do what he's doing and have Carmelo be and Nakamura be on the show every week. You can't do all of it at once. So, and that's the structure of WWE. Whereas AEW, you'll have everybody having matches over and over and over again, and then the matches don't matter as much because everybody's facing everybody on a random day, and it's like, oh, but the match was great. We got to see him, but yeah, so it's a little bit different.
That's not fair because the C2, the Continental Classic, did not present that, right? I mean, we got Ospreay and Okada. That happened in New Japan, but I don't think that happened on AEW, right? That's
there are situations where they don't do that. I'm just saying that's everybody.
No,
I'm saying that for the roster that's not at the top of the card, they have a lot of matches throughout the week. There's matches that move to next week, but they've gotten better with that. I'm gonna be honest with you, that specifically, they've gotten better with that.
And to your point too, because I know you had a point that you was gonna make that you were making with AEW.
They did load up Raw because it's 3 hours.
Well, yeah, they loaded up Raw because it's 3 hours and Netflix. I mean, like, I don't know why hey man, hey bro, I don't know why we don't know why they made a lot of Jets primetime games last year, brother.
And you stop.
No, I'm making a point. They made a schedule. They loaded up a schedule because we anticipated that this roster, when you say load up this roster is going to be must see. So what I'm saying is there's no other thing that I can think of analogy wise. Basketball scheduling possibly, but a television
you're right.
But a television show can't really predict what episodes is going to knock, or we can't predict what characters, because nigga, we fall in love with Kramer or some Kramer. Nigga, he was just supposed to be in one episode. You know what I'm saying? That's that type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but my point is, Netflix is going to be an attraction show, and we have to be able to throw a ton of things at the wall.
It's 3 hours too, right?
Yes, 3 hours.
Okay,
3 hours.
All right. So yeah, we're all gonna be the larger roster. I think they might take SmackDown 3 hours too.
Then yes, SmackDown is going to be 3 hours as well.
Once they do the draft again, and probably more even at that point. But yeah, Raw being 3 hours for majority of the year, and SmackDown being 2, it made sense for them to have a bigger roster. And then yeah, the transfer portal, they're gonna use that as a way to switch it up. I don't think the draft matters at all. I say this every week. The draft is a complete marketing ploy, and based on storylines, they're going to be able to pull anybody from anywhere at any given time. We've seen KO on Raw plenty of times throughout the year, and Sami Zayn on SmackDown plenty of times throughout the year. It's because storyline purposes, they'll take somebody over. Chad Gable was just on SmackDown. They can say transfer portal, whatever it is. It's just because they want to get him on SmackDown now. They're just gonna make up a
I
reason
mean, but why can't you accept what they call it though? And like because it's a, I mean, if
because they've
they,
been doing it all year. It's because
uh,
they've done it all year for randomly. Like we've seen all types of people on different shows. Like
I
Rhea
mean,
was on SmackDown at one point.
if this is what I'm asking you, if it's a television show and they give you an explanation for it in the television show, like every other television show, why can't we find it and just go with it?
I'm
Because if
going
they
with it,
say this
bro.
is
I'm going with it, but I'm going to also tell you the truth.
okay,
I'm going with it for the show, but the truth is, throughout the entire year, we've had people that are on Raw show up on SmackDown, regardless, without an explanation. Just be real. So I'm also gonna be act like I'm not gonna act like I didn't see that. That's just
I don't know that because every time that I know, somebody says it's a reason why. That's what when I watch the show, it's an announcer saying why this person's on
it's a
the show.
storyline reason why, but granted, that's not a real strict rule when it comes to the draft. That's my point. The draft really doesn't have to. If it's a storyline purpose, they're gonna switch somebody. Sammy's been on SmackDown plenty of times. Same thing with Jey Uso, because the storyline warranted it. But then they also had moments where who was it? Just had a regular match on SmackDown, and it wasn't really talked about. But yeah, it happens throughout the year. So I'm not like mad about it. I'm just saying, this is the truth. There's no such thing as a draft. It's
Okay,
just it.
okay. All right. There's no such thing as a draft, but they have it because they say it's the thing for it, and you just don't want to because you don't want to. That's fine, but it's a
It's not
divided.
like I think, but my point is saying is that us fans, I think we take it too far because I think we act like, oh, like look at this roster versus this roster. In reality, it's like, okay, look at what storylines can we build right now, and oh shit, we're dwindling on our mid card SmackDown. Uh, let's bring Chad Gable over. All right, let's just say it's a transfer portal time. Dude, this never has happened before, mind you. They just came up with it. So like, I'm just being real. Like,
I
if they need to
mean,
make something happen, they'll make it
they're
happen.
not also insulting intelligence when also there was a brand split and they're used when you say it's a market ploy, there's a thing that gets rated that we watch every year, the draft. There's a thing now called a transfer portal. So I mean it's not like they're just pulling shit out their ass. Right? They're using a lot of real life elements, things that you say that aren't real. They use a lot of real life elements and implement into a storyline. Yes, I don't know why we're being of
But
such a dick
I
about it.
didn't get upset, man.
I
I'm
didn't say
just
he was
saying what it
upset.
is.
I didn't say he was upset. I said I don't know why we're being such a dick about it. Is what I said. I didn't say he was upset.
Why being a dick? I'm not being a dick. I'm
I mean,
just
you're
saying
like,
what
there's
it was.
no
I
reason why.
can't,
You're like, there's no draft. I'm like, no, there are people that
bro.
are there are. All I'm saying is there's a reason why the roster is huge. WWE has a huge fucking roster. Yes, if you want to just say get rid of the roster because you say get rid of the championships, you say you want one championship. I know you long enough to know what we're talking about. You want one championship. You want
That's
niggas to
not
go
what I'm
back and
talking
forth.
about.
Okay, you bro.
You're right. I do want the, but it's
Okay,
not.
so
That's not what I'm talking about though. Right now,
but
it
what
has
I'm
nothing to do with
saying,
what I'm
but
talking
what
about.
I am saying is that there's to your point, to your point. I'm going to say I'm not going to call you. I'm not calling you out. I'm saying when I see people that is not drafted to a person on the show, I hear a reason for it. For you to say that you say, okay, I don't watch everything that you watch. You don't watch everything that I watch. But what I am saying is that there is a reason for the roster division. And to that point, there's a reason why there's a draft. And for you to say there's no reason for a draft, I'm just saying that you are being a dick towards it. There's a reason for
There's no reason, man. There's no reason. It's insulting my intelligence. I think that there is no draft. I feel like the champions can be drafted, but everybody else, hey, just compete. Randy Orton competed for the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw in September. Like let's like so at the end of
Was
the
it
day,
not a storyline involved in it though, Chidi? I'm asking
that's
a
my
question.
point. The draft is doesn't it's not real. That's my
But they were
fucking
in it.
point.
No, bro. Bro. The King of the Ring is a multi inter promotional thing. Randy was in the finals with Gunther.
the draft is not real, bro.
Okay,
If the guy from one brand can challenge the champion on another brand, this is not even like, oh, he's coming just for a match on Raw. He came for the actual pay-per-view match. Like, come on, like, let's be real. It's not like a hard draft. So at the end of the day, I'm
I
not saying that they didn't give us a reason behind it. I'm just saying that, let's be real. Like, the draft ain't shit now. Back in the day, the draft had a strict, you would never see them touch until Royal Rumble or Survivor Series. That's how it was. So let's, like, if you can just, you could have waited on Randy Orton and Gunther. They could have. They just chose not to. You know,
when can they have done that, Chidi? I'm
they
asking.
could do that. They can do that. Randy could win the Royal Rumble. Or it could be. They could do it next year, even after the
So
draft next year.
okay,
I'm
so
just
this
saying.
I know
They
what
can
you're
wait.
saying. I know what you're saying. Yes, let's wait on something that we can give the people right now because it's a filler match, a good match with a reason that people should be able to catch on to, but not everybody because we have smarts.
I'm not saying what. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying what happened and what the draft is.
What happened
Because
was
I just
Gunther would have
so
never
when I
been
say
champion
something
if he
like
didn't.
when I say something like, "Hey, Braun Strowman was a Raw superstar, and now he's on SmackDown. Maybe he should compete with Cody." I think the logic that what they're doing is smart. I think what they're doing is smart, but I'm not falling for it. I think it's smart to just not have a draft at all and just only the champions on brands, and that way we have super flexibility where, yeah, people you typically will see on Raw can possibly show up on SmackDown and next week compete for the United States Championship if they Sheamus can needs to go to SmackDown. There's no, you don't need to say, oh, transfer portal, actually there was a secret clause in his contract. You don't need to do that. Just take him to SmackDown, have him compete. That's all I'm saying. It's just
So
better.
it should be just champions drafted to the show.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
it. That's it. I think after this year, what I've seen, that's what they did anyways. And they had to find a way to write it in, which is cool. They weren't insulting anybody's intelligence. But me, I'm like, like just make it champions. Just make it champions.
Oh
Jay was on SmackDown for weeks. Why? He's not on that show. Oh, what? Just cause?
no,
Just because
Solo's there.
just
It
because
was
Solo's there? Who gives a fuck? You're drafted to the other brand. Get out of here. You're not in
they
this
were
not from
fighting.
this locker room.
They was squabbling, nigga. It was on site, and I'm pulling up where you at, nigga.
He had a whole
I don't,
promo in the ring.
I want to
Oh,
fight
nigga,
at my
all this,
daddy
no,
house, nigga. I'll fight.
all this. I'm like, Solo, I mean, Jay, get the fuck off my show, bro. You can't have no microphone in my show. Like, let's be real. But come on now, like I get it. It's storyline wise. We just don't even explain it. It's bloodline, right? Makes no goddamn sense.
Hey, the bloodline does what they want. That's that's one thing we learned this year.
Exactly.
Um, what else we got? It's 1 in the morning. We out here potting.
Yeah, man. It's 1 o'clock in the
You
morning.
got work in the morning?
Yeah. No, it's 1 in the morning. I don't got work, but I do got to do some work on some things. But man, it's been a great year. Honestly, it's been one of my favorite years in wrestling. I really do really like I really feel like that. Like it's one of my favorite years in wrestling. Um, um,
It was a good year.
and it's been great to come here and talk. It's been great being on the pod weekly. Obviously, that's coming to an end. Starting the year, I will be here on January 6th to review Raw, and then after that, we probably won't see us on the pod, at least me on the pod, until maybe after Royal Rumble. But we'll be
A whole month?
a whole
No.
month. Yeah, man. So for the first time, we are not gonna be with the pod going into the new year. So that's sad. But it's been a honor to do this with you, brother, for
I
six
ain't gonna,
years
I ain't gonna lie.
consistently.
I'm gonna send your ass links weekly just cause I'm gonna do solo shows and I'm gonna send that nigga links and tell that nigga to pull up.
He gotta start talking crazy, trying to
I
get me to come on up.
Yo, I'm about to be like be here on Club 520. That nigga be unhinged. That nigga be that nigga be unhinged. I'm about to be like Gil, no chill Gil in this motherfucker. Nah, man.
It's crazy.
I'm a, I'm gonna hold it down.
Yeah.
Chidi bullshitting. We fuck around. We still might be on here weekly. We just we bullshitting,
Listen,
nigga.
man, I love
We
y'all. Thank
bullshit.
y'all for
We
being your
still might be
comrades.
on
Shout out
here
to you
weekly.
for always showing up. Shout out to everybody who showed us love over the years. I will be having to focus on some other things, and I may tag in. I may tag in from time to time, but I won't be as frequent
My
nearly as
nigga on the quest to be a
as it
millionaire.
used to be.
No lie. We can't
Wow.
even keep my nigga on the quest, so I can't even shut him down with that. Now my nigga trying to be some goddamn cyber tech security nigga, binary code creator nigga. I can't even
I
fuck.
don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing something, guys. Just I gotta focus on some things. But yeah, I love wrestling, love talking wrestling, love talking with you guys, love talking with my brother, and yeah, we got and I'm trying to make it to Vegas. So like guys, like holla at us in Vegas, I'll try to be down there. So
Yo, where
let's
y'all
try to make
stand? Y'all stand at the Bellagio? Where y'all stand?
that. The
Nigga,
palms.
where y'all stand at? Y'all stand at the Ritz? You know what I'm saying? Cause
Yeah,
I
we
know,
gotta figure that out.
nigga, we gonna be at the goddamn Clarendon. Holla at us. We gonna be at the
So
goddamn Marriott.
speak for yourself, bro. It's gonna be on the fucking Holiday Inn. Nah,
Yo, if the strip got a goddamn Motel 6, I'll be there.
we know.
Boy, boy, I'll stay anywhere.
Now we gotta figure something out, man. We can't miss this one. We got. I've never been to Vegas, so I can't wait.
I've never been to
I, I,
Vegas either,
I
man.
want to be there. I want to go for a week. I want to go for a whole week. I want to go for a week. That's what I'm trying to do.
Ooh, okay.
Monday to Monday. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. It's expensive.
I'll meet you. I'll meet you there on Thursday, man. I'll be there for Wale Mania, my nigga.
Shout out to
No,
Wally
I
too,
might be there
man.
Wednesday. I'll be there Wednesday. I'll probably be there Wednesday and Monday.
Okay,
Wednesday and Monday. Wednesday. I'll probably leave out. I'll probably leave out Monday.
I got a stack, bro. I got a stack. It's gonna be crazy.
See, that's what I'm saying, bro. You talking about a week in Vegas, boy? You better get some home money, boy. You know you gotta get you some little Vegas pussy while you out there, boy.
Yeah, that's it's classified. All is love. Everything is wrestling. Let's get up out of here.
Peace. We got a
Peace
game of
out.
Madden to play too. I guess we play it tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, man. It's